there won't be any cold openings for this episode.
Enjoy! And so we come to the end of this seasonal journey with...
Oh, is it time for a toast?
No. Let's wait for the end.
Oh, okay. I thought since you said this is the end, it's time for the toast.
Well, I was speaking metaphorically.
Oh.
And, yes, with the season finale appropriately named Shell-Shocked.
Really?
Oh, would you have picked battle fatigue, or operational exhaustion, or post-traumatic stress disorder?
I would have said George Carlin much.
Yes.
I would probably... The best way I describe this is kind of battle fatigued. Because it's not, as though gut punching is shell-shocked, but it's just like a slow aggravation.
Yeah, I would kind of say, okay, I was mixed with this episode. Not so much. It wasn't bad. It was good, but there could have been some improvements on it.
Yeah, I have to agree because.
Go
ahead.
All right. The whole episode is that this is the final battle between Riders and the Hunters, with Dragon's Edge being the last line of defense. It turns out that Ryker betrayed Viggo, and hold on, do you have the number for DreamWorks?
Let's see. I'm looking through my contacts. No, I don't.
Oh, really? Because I'd hope I can get someone so that I can tell him that I called it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from episode 1 that Ryker was going to betray Viggo. Simply because whenever the Hunters are involved, and it talks about, and it shows Viggo and Ryker, Viggo pretty much belittles Ryker, and Riker's just had enough of it. He's had enough of this goddamn little brother of his and his goddamn business plans.
Honestly, I feel like it's kind of forced.
In a way, yeah, it is kind of forced because when in Viggo's reveal in season 2, he does kind of hint that yes, my brother is of lesser intelligence.
But it wasn't no way super demeaning.
Yeah, in season 3, we didn't really get much interaction between the Riders and Hunters. Yeah, they were mostly absent.
So if you want me to believe this buildup of betrayal, you kind of need to show more of this belittlement.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, I just think it's kind of out of left field. Holy crap, that ball went high and far and wide. Because honestly, it made me think it was just a ploy.
The whole thing was a ploy?
Yes, because for one, Viggo doesn't seem upset about it.
Yeah, he didn't even seem upset that his brother is possibly dead at the end.
Well, he got put in his place, remember?
He got put in his... Yeah, his place is...
in the mouth of the dragon.
Like several hundred feet underwater.
Yeah, he's gonna have the severe case of the bendies.
Oh, yeah. And if not, then there's also the pressure to deal with.
That's why I said the bendies.
Oh, that's what it... Okay.
Because when you're that far down, you're gonna go...
Mm-hmm.
Implode.
Yeah.
But, I don't know which is worse. Being crushed by the pressure, drowning, or being eaten.
Or being suffocated from the dragon's whirlpool.
That too.
Yeah.
Pick your poison, people.
Yeah, so either way, it's pretty clear that Ryker is not coming back. And if he is, well, we'll be here to call them out.
Yes. Actually, no. DreamWorks, give us your numbers because we will call you out.
Mm-hmm. We'll call you out through landlines, through cell phone towers, through Twitter, through snail mail if we have to,
through Facebook too.
Mm-hmm.
And through MySpace. Oh, That still exists.
I don't think anyone uses MySpace anymore.
Doesn't hurt to try.
I don't really think that exists anymore. It's like Napster. No one uses Napster anymore.
Touche. But regardless, he's most definitely dead.
Yeah.
But
he's most definitely dead. And yeah, do not pull a python on us. Do not pull a Monty Python.
Yes, but now, as I mentioned, like, he doesn't seem to care that when you make it this betrayal thing, you gotta remember, we're all humans.
Mm-hmm.
Viggo spent, I don't know how long of his life building up this lucrative business of dragon hunting. This whole thing must have been his entire life. It was a family thing. No, remember, it's like
a family business.
A family business of hot dragons. No, for a family picture. But the thing is, when you have something that you build your entire life upon, and it's suddenly just ripped out from underneath of you, there's gonna be time when there's gonna be cracks of your composure.
I kind of want to contest to that. Viggo pretty much knows he is of superior intelligence, and I'm pretty sure he has a plan for such scenarios, even a backup plan for the plan, and even a backup for the backup. This is a guy who is, I wouldn't say not only intelligent, but probably paranoid. Absolutely paranoid.
So you couldn't see something like Ratigan?
That unfortunately, I think probably should have been more for the climax. So yeah, now there's. I kind of feel like the whole season finale should have actually been the Uncharted 3-parter. There's never been a 3-parter in this series.
Yes.
In fact, actually, I'm starting to think that maybe a majority of the episodes could have just been longer. They could have just been little arcing episodes instead of just, episodic one-shots.
Honestly, this would have been beneficial of plotting out arcs in this particular season because
and even first time viewing, it actually does feel interconnected a bit.
Yes, but the whole final part, like, I do mean that if this whole 2-parter, right at the end, when all is said and done, the dust is clear, I felt a bad taste in my mouth. It felt anticlimactic
because it was just here and then it's gone, like a breath in the wind.
You mean a fart in the wind?
Come on, we're more mature than that.
Okay.
We're not Dagger.
Okay.
We're not Dagger. Yeah, that was pretty much the only funniest joke that we could come up with for.
I guess someone heard our call. I think DreamWorks called us.
Well, put them on hold.
Hold. Well then.
We'll have your people terramail our people.
Yes.
So, where were we?
Anti-climax.
Oh yeah,
that fart in the wind and all that wonderful stuff.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah, I kind of do feel like, just the final standoff between Hiccup and Viggo, it just went by too fast. And because these are two characters who don't like to use physical force. They'd rather use their strategy. They'd rather plan it out. And okay, I like the idea that Hiccup eventually Da Vinci coded Viggo by tossing the MacGuffin into the air so that it would land in the lava.
I actually saw that coming because, hostage, edge of volcano, MacGuffin, only one option to do.
Congratulations! You get a cookie.
Where is it?
It's up your ass. But yeah, I guess because of the limited animation, the limited budget that the series had, they couldn't really go all out. But at least they kind of gave us the ending that we have been talking about. You know, but and admittedly, I'd wish it was more for movie 3. You know, all the characters that came back, and you know, with movie quality animation and lighting.
Almost all characters.
Right. Yeah, Alvin didn't come back. I guess Hamill was just too busy filming the Star Wars sequels to do this. I mean, come on. It'd be just like 30 minutes of a day.
Yeah.
You couldn't. Come on.
But
but I will say this is that I feel like the final standoff should have just been longer, and maybe it could have been longer, and it could have been like, well, you brought up Ratigan, like the Great Mouse Detective.
It should have been that adrenaline rush.
Oh,
that whole crashing through the freaking glass, going up the tower kind of feeling.
With the bad guy finally having a breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, it was established earlier that in Enemy of My Enemy that Hiccup, when pushed to a limit, will get physical. He tackled Dagger off the waterfall into the river, and so I can see him tackling Viggo, you know, after throwing the Dragon Eye up into the air, them tumbling into the volcano, landing on a ledge, and then now the conflict is that they have to get out of a slowly crumbling volcano while also I guess getting the Dragon Eye.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been more serviceable if for Viggo's ends, like, you know.
Yeah, in fact, it would have been more serviceable. It'd be more like Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusade,
or like the Temple of Doom.
I would say the Lost Crusade because the whole "Let it go, Indy."
Oh, that one. Oh yeah, with Astrid.
With Astrid.
Yes, that would have been better.
Exactly. You know, Hiccup's trying, he can't hold on. He's the Dragon Eye in his hand. He needs both hands to pull himself up. And Astrid's just let go, Hiccup. And it's
yeah, that would have been awesome. But so, okay, viewers, if you are writers on fan fiction, get on that. So yeah, and so how would we structure the episode if we were actually writing a 3-parter? Well, I actually would have kept the first episode the same. It was a good build-up. Second,
great comedy too.
Oh yeah, it was very rare to see Viggo so confused.
It does, did I miss something?
Yeah, and then the second episode, and then and then maybe half or maybe a third of the third episode could have been dedicated to, you know, not only fighting Ryker on the Dragon's Edge, but also dealing with the consequences of having Viggo. It's like he could betray us. I can be a useful ally. How do you know this isn't part of the plan? Then if it is and we walk right into it, we'll deal with it. And then the final 2 acts or even the final half could have just been a battle of conviction.
Yes, because, you know, going back to your thing, I did want to see Hiccup and Viggo getting fisticuffs, because I was like, as much as it amuses me to see intelligence of, I get tired of, we shall plan around that, plan around that, plan around that, plan.
Your brilliance knows no bounds, Bilger.
Thank you. You know, it's just, the whole planning thing just kind of gets old.
It actually does, and then not to mention, it really burns through a wallet that I have to go through acetaminophen and Tylenol.
Yes. But just to see good old fisticuffs.
I know, and we know Hiccup is capable of getting physical.
Yeah.
Like I said in Enemy of My Enemy. And the fact that he pretty much held Astrid at axe point, which I do have to nitpick on that.
So we had blind Astrid taming a dragon.
But a man in his 30s, I'd say is in his 30s, riding on top of her own dragon with brings her arm around her back and an axe to her throat, and then all of a sudden she's helpless. Are we back in the 90s?
I think so.
I know.
So a stormfly, you can't just go
Like wrap your tail around it, and also like skewer him with your poisonous barbs.
you can shoot your thing. You can shoot through his arm.
Yeah,
Like,
and
hello, it's like point blank gunfire.
I know. And not only that, then Astrid, doesn't headbutt him.
Yeah, headbutt him.
Yeah, I know. That's the other thing. The reason why I kind of feel that ending was a little bit of a cop out. And that Viggo, when he looks at the crumbling peak of the volcano, and then he just steps back and then looks at the camera like, oh crap, it's like Wile E. Coyote.
I know. I'm like,
yeah. The only thing that was missing was the stretchy neck.
Now then, good parts.
Good parts. Well,
How about seeing Stoic choking the living shit of not Ryker, Viggo.
Viggo, yeah, which was actually a nice callback. With the dialogue having a nice callback to episode 7,
Yes, it was.
Stoic is telling Hiccup that that whole thing about revenge not being a plan was just for you, but for me, it goes down a treat. I can kind of understand that. Yes, Hiccup is the one who's supposed to come up with a plan, but Stoic is more traditional Viking. Beat them until they're
beat them into submission.
Beat them into submission, or beat them until they don't wake up anymore. So yeah, I like that. And I did like a little bit of the cinematography, just from when Viggo and Hiccup are flying over the ocean. Like Hiccup is like straight, like right in the center of the frame, with Viggo right behind him. You can still see his shoulder pads, and Hiccup looks like he's not listening. He's just not paying attention to a word that Viggo is saying. But with the fact that you can see him behind him, it's almost like, yeah, maybe what he is saying is getting to him, and then it ultimately proves that he is getting to him when he brings up that Astrid and Hiccup are in a relationship. It's quite vexing, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. But another thing I did like, what the look of surprise when they got to the camp, the destruction of the camp, and to see Viggo in a rat hole. That was just so delightful. Yeah. It was actually very pleasing for me because I'm like, I think of Saddam Hussein here.
Oh my god! And with that beard, damn it! Yeah, it was kind of like that. All right, and the other thing that I liked is that not only did Heather and Dagger came back. I'm pretty sure you were happy that Heather came back. Mm-hmm. And was Dagger pretty much got a new dragon? Sluther is now his dragon.
Oh, what's Master?
I don't know. I think maybe that would come into play in the next season, or
I mean,
I don't really know.
The interesting part is that we have 2 dragons.
He has not that. It's not that uncommon in the books.
No, I don't read the books, remember?
And yeah, I stopped. I haven't even finished the first book yet, but I do know that in that Hiccup and the rest of the Hooligan tribe in that book, they can have more than one dragon.
Okay. But one thing that needs to be mentioned, the baby Eruptodon.
Oh,
the baby Eruptodon.
Okay, yeah, it was cute. I
want to hug it. I just want to...
Yeah, well, and you'd have to savor it because that thing grows to as big as a house.
It grows even bigger than Clifford.
I have no idea, but I definitely know it could use the Statue of Liberty as a toothpick. Hell, I could probably use the Washington Monument as a toothpick.
Probably. I think the Eiffel Tower would be the toothpick too.
No, it's not that big. Not that big. And so I was talking about Dagger and Sluther, how they seem to have bonded, and that was actually kind of cute. And I think Dagger is now relapsing into his old berserker style. Yeah,
but the best part is brother,
yeah.
brother.
Yes, Hiccup calls Dagger brother. That's one thing I kind of would have liked. I would have liked it if there was if it did cut to showing his face and like a tear going down, like he called me brother, because yes. I think that would have been Dagger.
That would have been Dagger, and that would have been like heartwarming.
And so I think maybe and Dagger kind of losing his Grizzly Adams thing might come into play in the next season too.
It's heartwarming because what happened to Berserker Island, which, by the way,
yeah.
If you want to make me sympathetic about their home being targeted and destroyed,
give us like a up close and personal POV shot of all of the destruction.
Yes, don't just obscure it, because that just does not help with my emotions.
Yeah, this is the first time we see Berserker Island, and it's obscured by smoke and shell fire.
Yes,
fire.
And like, if you really want to hammer it down, you don't have to show people dying if you're that anti-death.
Yeah, yeah, that.
But you can show destruction of the homes.
Yeah, and speaking of anti-death, this is actually the first time in the series as a whole, writers and defenders included, where someone dies. Now I'm pretty sure Viggo might still be alive. They didn't find the body, but Ryker, he's, as we've mentioned earlier, he's most definitely dead.
If he's not, we'll be waiting for that phone call.
Yes. So, yeah, it's kind of weird that so far out of all 6 seasons of DreamWorks Dragons, someone dies.
Someone finally kicks the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully not Bucket's bucket.
Oh no, he needs that bucket.
Yeah.
I think if it happens, if he loses his bucket, I can just see the memes. Autistic screeching.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But there's not really much good points. There's few and far.
It was an okay episode.
Honestly, I have to give it a D for finale.
Really? A D?
Okay, first off, you come off from Maces and Talons.
Alright.
You need to up that.
I get it. Well, it's hard.
It's hard because
it's hard to just continually try to top your 2-part finales.
I know, but I know it's a challenge, but you gotta do it. Otherwise, you could become stagnant.
Mm-hmm. But a D, wow. I mean,
I'd like D or at least a C minus.
I would actually give it a C plus. Mostly because, animation was good. I think there could have been a little bit more animated in the disturbances of the water when the dragons are swimming, or even the riders, because there wasn't much waves. And the cinematography, coloring, and I guess some of the writing was okay. It could have been better. I think that maybe this would have worked and have been completely serviceable finale if this was a 3-parter.
If it was a 3-parter, it probably would have been a B minus. Because, not to mention, the whole D thing is reflective of how well this build-up was. So we're going from episode 1 to this.
Yeah, well, I really don't know what to say to that. But yeah, this was an okay episode, but it could have been better. And we definitely know that it probably would have been tough to have done all the suggestions that we've thought of because of the limited budget.
Yes, budget constraints does never help.
Mm-hmm.
However, for the final grade, I give it a D for the build up to this finale, and the finale just not paying off. But for the actual episodes, it would be a C.
Okay. All right. And and I just give it a C plus because it passes. It was serviceable. It did deal with some of the conflicts, like the consequences of making an ally out of your enemy and having that enemy betray you.
No, it's kind of ironic. Look at the first episode of last season.
First step, enemy of my enemy. Yeah,
that's actually a more fitting title for this.
But it was still serviceable, and we got moments of Hickstrid to just tide us over.
No, the fun part is it's not like it's like Hickstrid.
Yeah, he uses the ship name.
I just found myself giggling at that. I was like,
yeah, but okay, but all in all, Shell Shocked was a passable episode for me, and lots of room for improvement for you.
Yeah, like comedy does help a little. I don't know where Snell gets gambling addiction from.
I think maybe because he's lived it. I think because in the very end of the episode when he says, I think there's about 10 or 12 steps. I don't know. I haven't really finished it. So, yeah. And so, yeah, there's nothing left for this.
Well then. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
And give us a Snap Trapper, DreamWorks.
Please.